Two girls, no fucks. Two girls, no fucks.
Sounds like my hometown.
Hey everybody, this is Two Girls,
No Fucks.
and this is the first of our relationship series.
Who here has been cheated on? Who here has cheated on somebody?
Nobody's fucking perfect. We all make mistakes. I really want to get real and talk about how to move past something like that. It's not about the mistakes that people make. It's about how you handle the situation. It's how you choose to take the information and move on with your life. How did you take it when you were cheated on?
I did not take it well. The worst part of going through something like that is feeling dumb. And so when you feel dumb, you get mad, and then you want to be angry because it doesn't feel good to feel like you've been fooled. It took really time, as they say, to heal that situation, and also just, some distance to realize that it wasn't a great relationship, and it was probably the best thing that happened because it helped me let go and move on, and nobody's perfect. So I don't personally at this time have any anger about it.
No.
I do have understanding, actually. And, as I said, I have cheated on someone. It was when I was really young, and I don't know how much it counts for cheating, but I like to add it to my own personal playbook because with that comes empathy and compassion and understanding. So
we tend to take acts like cheating or stealing or like lying. We tend to take those things and we rank them. She cheated, I only lied. A mistake is a mistake. And that's kind of like the way I look at it. And we've all made mistakes. If I turn around and judge somebody for cheating on somebody, but I've just stolen something, yeah, it's different. It's all mistakes. We're humans. We only can try and grow and get better with time. It doesn't excuse the mistake. It doesn't mean you shouldn't own up to it. You should always own up to your mistake. But once you've owned up to your mistake, that's all you can do. If somebody still wants to be angry, that's their decision. That's what we're going to talk about as well, is that if you choose to stay angry about something, whatever it is, cheating or anything else, you're making that decision. The person's already apologized. They feel bad. Whether you believe them or not or whatever, you're making a decision, and that's the decision to be an angry, upset person.
the anger is toxic. You're going through the day with all this negative energy towards other people, and how is that bringing any positivity to your own personal existence on this planet?
The Art of Happiness talks a lot of it. The Dalai Lama wrote part of it, and what's really interesting is he said one thing in the book that stuck with me is that when people tell him, how do you forgive? How can you be so understanding to people? When somebody hurts you, how do you try and figure out why they did it? And he said that's basically crazy. Like, to try and understand why anybody does anything without having seen their entire life, their entire education, their surroundings, how they grew up, what they faced is, he said that's such a waste of energy and time, because people make the decisions that they do, and everybody wakes up every single day wanting to do their very best. And I really believe that every single person wakes up every day wanting to be the very best that they can. Do they always succeed? Hell no. Do I always succeed? Fuck no. But what I have learned from this is when you make a mistake, you say, I made a mistake.
I just want to say, on behalf of those who have been the cheater and you walk around carrying a lot of guilt and you let it eating you up, and if that person's holding a lot of resentment and anger towards you and you're allowing that to kind of be on your shoulders in your daily life, you need to forgive yourself, and you need to let go of that guilt and realize that you do make mistakes. You are human, and that person's going to screw up at some point. They're not going to be perfect forever, and they probably haven't been perfect before. So how dare they be the one that kind of rank you in life as to what kind of person you are?
Because if you in turn carry that with you, then you're in no better place. At the end of the day, doesn't mean keep going around and cheating on people. It just means try and get better with time and accept your mistakes, learn from them. But yeah, to move past when somebody's cheated on you is really just to say, hey, that's a human being. It's not great, doesn't feel great. You're allowed to be mad. You're allowed to say shitty things. And the person who's cheated, make sure you let the person say the things that they need to say to you. It's important to give somebody closure. You can't just be like, well, you know what? I said I was sorry, and you walk away. You need to hear all the shitty things that person has to say. Yeah. And it's uncomfortable. I've been in that seat. But on the flip side of things, I've been in a seat where somebody has hurt me, and I don't get to say to them what I need to say to them. And it's kind of like, I'd rather just somebody say to me what they have to say. We're all not perfect. Nobody's perfect. Not one person is perfect.
Another pro tip, honestly, sometimes it's not best to stay in touch with that person anymore. But what I did is actually had a journal, and I wrote to that person for every time I wanted to call them or pick up the phone or anything, I decided to write in my journal instead and write to that person. And then it got to a point where the journal flipped over and I started actually writing to myself. And when I started reading how terrible. I kind of represented myself throughout it, and then it kind of changed over to like, no, it's not my fault. And, you know, it's a way to work through all those emotions and get to a place of acceptance, which is where everybody needs to get to at some point, no matter what the conflict.
Yeah. If you look at anybody, you can actually, like, I really believe I've had people cheat on me and I forgave them, and I see them and I think, you know, you were just a human being trying to do your very best at that time, and that's what you chose to do, and I forgive you. And it allows me to live a much happier life. If you let things go, then you're a lot happier for yourself. If you hold on to things, you're really the only person you're hurting is yourself, because that other person is moving on. You may as well move on. But like I said, I really believe those people who choose to stay frustrated about anything, it's because they want to be unhappy. And I don't know how many people will see that, but if you choose to stay angry, you want to be angry. It's very easy with time. It's like working out. When you work out, you get muscles over time. This is working in. If you forgiving people and getting used to forgiving is something that you can develop over time, and it actually becomes really easy. You become in situations where you can actually, you know, forgive road ragers and just be like, you're angry today, go for it. Be the first.
Another thing to think about this whole thing, and this is all about emotional maturity and all that sort of stuff, is the ego. Because the reason a lot of people hold all this anger and resentment is because their pride has been hurt. And I'm saying this because this is my personal experience. When I was cheated on, it really affected my pride for the longest time. That's what hurt the most. But towards everyone else, I was angry and resentful and like, how dare they, blah, blah, blah. But when I really worked in and thought about why I was still so upset, it was because I felt my pride had taken a blow.
Yeah.
And with everything in life, you'll start seeing, if you stop thinking about your ego in that way, it's so much easier. It's easier to forgive. It's easier to apologize, even if like maybe you don't see eye to eye with the other person that you've hurt. A lot of times now I'm in a relationship, I'll just take a deep breath and say, babe, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. And just, boom, we let it go. I do that with Jay.
I'm like, I made a mistake. I made a mistake.
Yeah, and rather than trying to be like, no, I'm right, and which I've done in previous relationships where I tried to like hold my ground and keep my point, you know, I didn't want to be wrong, and it actually doesn't help me at all. If I can just suck it up, let go of the ego, you know, try to see it from their side, maybe like there is potential, this person could be right, I did hurt their feelings, maybe I didn't mean to, but I should apologize.
If you've been cheated on, if you've cheated on somebody, comment down below.
Share this with someone who may have been cheated on or has cheated and might need a little extra support.
Also, read this fucking book. Read this. I feel bad saying fucking and Dalai Lama in the same sentence, but he's amazing. Read it. Share it with a friend.